Man, we are in the middle of October. It's an exciting time of the year. A lot of things happening, going on. We're 2 weeks away from Halloween. If that's a holiday that you and your family enjoy to celebrate, and you get off into all the whatever. Sometimes it's just fun to have fun, right? A month, about 5 weeks away from Thanksgiving, and then about 9 weeks away from Christmas, and then 10 from New Year's. What an amazing, fun time. And I'm excited for it. I'm excited for you to be here. But this is what I know about the holidays. There's a certain amount of emotional turmoil that pops up. It happened. It happened a couple years ago, especially because of COVID, because of election. It just can be difficult. And I learned this morning. I read this, that our emotional turmoil stems from our desire for others to act other than the way they are. Our emotional turmoil are like, oh man, I hate people, stems from our desire for them to act like we want them to act. The reality is that's not going to happen. People act like themselves. They don't act how you want them to act. Whether you're a parent, a leader, just a person of society. Maybe some of your frustration comes from, man, why don't they just do it? Blah, blah, blah. Manage your emotional turmoil by understanding that's not going to happen. Instead, be curious. Why do people act the way they do? There might be a good reason. Maybe it's modeling someone they know. Maybe it's they, just don't know how else to act. Maybe they'd love to ask the question, hey, why is it that you view the world that way? Maybe I can learn and grow. Manage your emotional turmoil rather than getting upset with it. Just choose to be curious and understand. The next one is totally different, but it's something I learned this morning and wanted to share. And it was more reflected upon. The key to creating explosive growth in your business, in your organization, in anywhere that you serve in your life is developing leaders, developing other leaders. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday. I've actually referenced this conversation quite a few times now. It was fun to catch up with him. And we were talking about how, people say that sports develops leaders. Now, this was he was a collegiate, my friend was a collegiate athlete, professional athlete. And he goes, no, I all that sports do is creates disciplined rule followers. The place where they create leaders, the military. Because at any age, you can be an 18-year-old enlisted, and all of a sudden you're in the, some type of military service. And the day that you know something someone else doesn't, you're a leader. And you're expected to convey that information to them. You're practicing leadership skills. Now, as he and I discussed, and as I discussed with a friend of mine, it's amazing for me to now reflect and study and look and see how the armed services, the military has done such a tremendous job of understanding their role in leadership development, in developing healthy leaders. But if you want to create explosive growth, develop leaders, not just followers, not just doers, leaders. The next piece I want to share, and this came out of my daily journaling, and I was asked questions like, for those that you work with, if there was something that you could help solve a problem to make their work more productive, what would that be? And here's what was great about it is I hadn't necessarily stopped and thought about what barriers could I help remove. And as I thought about that and I wrote it down, it was quite an aha. It's like, yeah, that's a barrier frustration that maybe I have or other have in their business, and I could really help them improve. Man, how powerful that is to recognize in order to serve others. All right, last thing I'm going to leave you with this morning here is my thought of the day. The age of information we consume determines our outlook. Now, I read this quote from a James Clear newsletter. Forgive me for not having the author's name here at the top of my mind, but I'm digging for it right now. I'm going to have it for you. So the author of this idea, his name is, got to go to the right spot. Just bear with me here. Nat Eliason. And it's this idea of, what's the age of the information you're consuming? Are you consuming like information that is just right now today? It's like instantaneous, in the moment information. That's going to give you a certain outlook on the world. Now, if you look at information from maybe a month ago, you look at books that were written years ago, you look at maybe information shared that was, developed thousands of years ago. The perspective of that information is going to change your outlook in the day. I start my day and I read from Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, written by Solomon, age old wisdom, written thousands of years ago and is still applicable today. Now, there's some information that I consume that was written seconds ago. Each one of those give me a vastly different outlook on the world. As I think about it, I prefer the outlook that information written thousands of years ago gives me on the world today. I hope you got value from this today.